why I'm frustrated is how little the combo has been about baseball, how little analysis you actually get of, and I'm talking big picture. I'm not talking about Mets pregame does a great job and the Mets booth does a great job, but I'm talking about the national conversation. Is Juan Soto out in front of things? Are there mechanical things? Is he just off on timing? What was the moment like when San Diego when he went through this similar stretch? Rather than just Juan Soto's not happy, he regrets signing with the Mets, everything's awful. It's just very ridiculous, and it just jumps through absurd conclusions where Juan Soto is a guy that has had a lot of success throughout his major league career. Most guys that are as serious and have expectations for themselves as high as Juan Soto look happy when they are living up to their expectations. And when they are not, they are going to look frustrated or at times even defeated. So, and I think you and I look at this, and a lot of people that listen to the show look at this differently, Joe, because we've all been Mets fans long enough that we lived it with Beltran. We lived it with Lindor. I mean, I know there are a lot of people that have brought up Mike Piazza's start to his Mets career. It's not easy. It happens. And that's why you saw Pedro Martinez send that tweet about Juan Soto of there's a human element to this, and sometimes it just takes time. So I think the conversation has been magnified and amplified this way because I'll call it what it is. There is a large contingent of baseball media that is observing this from the Yankee lens, and the Yankee lens defaults back to, well, this didn't happen with the Yankees last year. Maybe he should have stayed with the Yankees. And that's fine if you feel that way. But to say that's the only thing going on here is just extremely short-sighted and honestly just poor form of constant conversation.
And it doesn't help that some lies are being made up too, but that's
the private plane thing wasn't. That's just ridiculous. I mean, if you believe that, you're even more ridiculous.
Exactly. But look, I won't pretend to be able to identify people's behavior, but that is a big conversation point about Soto is, does he like it here? Is he happy? Look, he doesn't look like the happiest. It's because he's not playing like Juan Soto's capable of playing. And you're starting to see a little bit of that outward emotion, slamming the bat after a bad strikeout. Like, you don't want to see players doing that, but it at least gives the visual idea to people that have a problem with just the way he's carrying himself. Okay, he does care. He is frustrated because in a way, very similar to Beltran, everything is nonchalant with Soto.
Yeah,
that's because a good point. He's so good. And Beltran, everything was nonchalant. But at the end of the day here, Juan Soto, I think, is perfectly fine with the decision he made. He's just not perfectly fine with the way he's performing. And at its crux, that's what this really has to come down to. I can't tell you exactly what's going on in Juan Soto's head any more than you can make your own guess. But to me, this has been magnified in a significant way. And, part of it was playing the Yankees too, right? Like just very recently playing the Yankees. So now it became more of a national conversation. But man, I struggle with this kind of stuff. And I think Mets fans and baseball fans as a whole, when it comes to these big contract players, are very quick to just to point out things and look for reasons to say this is the case. I believe someone tweeted in response to us the other day. I can't remember who it was. And this is not a ding at them. It's just a question about after Alonso hit the home run. It's like, why wasn't Soto there celebrating? And he stood there and gave him a high five and moved on. So it feels like a narrative is trying to be created here. And if Juan Soto was hitting had a 890 OPS, a 900 OPS, and had some of the similar personality traits, I guess, during the game, would we really care?
No, that's exactly right. And that was Ira that tweeted that at us, who asked us really great questions. Yeah. And we always have good combos with Ira. And to his credit, he was like, I was at the game and I was just looking at home plate. On the broadcast, you got to see Soto went to the top of the front of the dugout, almost like the batter's circle, and waited for Pete. And they celebrated there. So everybody kind of does their own. But I think that Ira saying that to us is the perfect encapsulation of the fan base, how they've now been almost trained because of the way the media is portraying it, where everything he does is either a screenshot on Twitter. Like there was a walk-off a month or two ago where people were like, Soto didn't come out at home plate to celebrate the walk-off. And then somebody else had to respond, he's right here on this camera angle. And it's like that. And it's ridiculous, but that's honestly what the Met fan has had to deal with, that there's just these things. The reality is, and not all Yankee fans feel this way, I won't put them all in one bucket. This is one of the rare times that a player of this magnitude chose to leave them, and of all teams went to the Mets, and a large magnitude of them wanted to fail miserably. It's just the way it is. Like this, that's the reality. So,
and that's fine. They honestly should want him to fail.
That's completely fine. Nobody's mad if you feel that way. It's when the conversations are, like, maybe he's not happy, or his mom made him sign with the Mets, or he's taking a private plane, not flying with the team, that these are just really poor conversations in terms of, like, they just lack any kind of respect towards the Met fan at this point. And if Soto gets hot, all of this stuff gets put to bed really, really quickly. And this is a 15-year contract, not a 1-year contract. Because as we talk about on the show a lot, and with the number he makes, this is the territory that comes with that for Juan Soto, and nobody's disputing that.